you a middle school math teacher assigned to teach a certain grade level and realizing that your students' skills are all over the place? Yikes! More often than not, when we are assigned to teach, for example, 7th grade math, our students are most likely coming to us with a huge varying degrees of abilities. If you're new around here, my name is Kathy Martin, and I help 6th, 7th, 8th grade and Algebra 1 teachers experience more aha moments in the classroom, all while saving time and money on their lesson planning and resources. So what do we do when we have a huge range of knowledge in one class period? How do we differentiate in a way so that our students are learning, we're meeting all of their needs, and we aren't totally overworking ourselves? Well, in this video, we are going to be talking about just that. Let me know in the comments if any of these tips and strategies resonate with you and which one you're going to be using first. So before we dive into the actual differentiating strategies, let's talk about actually what is differentiation, right? It's kind of a buzzword, it's been around forever, and it's something that you probably are already doing, but you may or may not know it. So differentiation means changing how you teach to fit the needs of different learners. This can include content. It's changing what students learn. This can be process, changing how students are learning, or this can be product, changing how students show what they have learned. And I get it. This may sound super overwhelming and a whole heck of a lot of work, but hey, it doesn't have to be. Differentiation does not need to be difficult. It doesn't need to take a million hours, and it can be highly impactful and effective. So, what are some strategies that we can actually implement into our classrooms so that we can meet all of the levels of our students? Let's dive in. Okay, strategy number 1. We can use tiered assignments. We can create different versions of the same assignment to challenge different learners. I know you might be hearing this and feeling this sense of dread, oh my gosh, no, that sounds like a whole heck of a lot of work. Okay, but hear me out, okay? I promise it doesn't have to be. If you already have access to different types of tiered assignments, then perfect. There you go. You just pull some of those assignments and you're ready to go. If you don't, and let's say you only have access to your textbook, okay, you could do this really easily too. So for example, if I were teaching fractions and I only had a textbook, I could assign basic fraction addition with whole numbers to my foundational level students. Foundational level students are focusing on building those foundational skills, okay? In that same example, if I was teaching fractions and I only had a textbook, my developing students, meaning my next level students, where I want to offer opportunities to apply concepts with some guidance, I might assign word problems involving fraction addition, okay? My tier 3 enrichment students, where I want them to have a deeper understanding and application, they can create real world scenarios involving fraction addition. Yes, this does take a little bit more time, but you would simply need to look ahead, use your textbook, look ahead, and kind of pick and choose the number of problems, the exact numbers that you want each of your differentiated students and what you need them to complete. So you could say, all right, foundation level students, these are the questions I need you to do, numbers 1, 7, 10, 12, and 11, and then your developing students, okay, for you guys, solving word problems involving fractions, you are going to complete numbers 23, 27, 29, 35, and 40, whatever those problems that I mentioned earlier, so on and so forth. Strategy number 2, possibly one of my favorite strategies. This is setting up stations or learning centers. Setting up stations with various math activities to choose from can be hugely impactful. I have, in case you're like, oh, I've heard of stations before, sounds good, but it sounds like a lot of work. I have a free training all about how to set up easy, realistic math stations that you can get started with right away. For you, sign up for our free training. I'll link it in the description box below. I've made a ton of errors. It was so difficult. I was ready to give up on stations until I really pushed through. I kept going. And in my training, I help you like minimize, really don't make any of the mistakes I make because I show you exactly what to do. Stations are so powerful because you can set up the different areas in your classroom with different tiered activities. And it also gives you an opportunity to work in a small group with students as well. And this is highly impactful because who doesn't want to sit with the group of 5 or 6 students versus your classroom of 35, right? You can really dive into the areas of struggle or the areas of enrichment that you really want to cover. And finally, before I wrap this video up with some final tips for success, my third strategy is giving your students choice boards as assignments. Choice boards are extremely powerful because you put the power in the students' hands. You're allowing them autonomy. I will link my favorite choice boards in the description box below, but my choice boards are set up in a 3x3 grid, and my students get to pick what they want to do. And for me as the teacher, I don't care what they do as long as they're doing something that is on the choice board. There's so many different types of activities for them to choose from. And again, it gives them the power, and students need and love that. Okay. Finally, I just want to share a few tips and thoughts for success. Know your students. Understand their strengths, weaknesses, learning styles. If you have a class that, I'm just pulling this off the top of my head, that does not enjoy like certain technology things that you're doing, like if they don't like Kahoot, don't assign Kahoot, right? Pick and assign items that your students actually want to do. Plan carefully. Create your lessons, provide multiple entry points and exit points. Be flexible. We really need to be flexible when we are differentiating and just being a teacher in general. We need to be able to go with the flow. We need to be able to divert, change the plans, and it's all going to be okay. Use your assessments, monitor student progress and inform your differentiation. And then finally, collaborate. Work with other teachers, share ideas, share resources. By using these differentiation strategies, we as teachers can create a more inclusive environment and provide a huge effective learning environment for all of our students. Again, let me know which of these strategies that you're going to be using first, and don't forget to check out our free training all about stations and check out our choice boards using the description box below. See you next time. Bye for now.